This video is about some things that I learned when I was in the Navy. I joined the Navy back in 2008 and I became a Navy diver, and I served until 2014 when I got out, and now I go to school. So when I first got to boot camp, one thing that I learned right away is that mentality is pretty much everything. When at first I kind of showed up with a bad attitude and had this mentality where just kind of like a negative mentality, and I looked at all the bad things and like how much everything sucked, and how hard everything was, and how much I missed home and all that kind of stuff. And it was really hard at first. And one thing I just kind of figured out, maybe after the first month, was that me being negative about everything isn't helping myself. And if you got to do something hard, you might as well just be positive about it. And so I kind of just tried to change my mentality and see the good in things, and have a sense of humor about the bad things, and just not let things get me down. And once I did that, like, it got so much easier because I was just looking at everything from a different perspective, and I had this like mental endurance and enthusiasm about things that I didn't have before, and it just got so much easier once you change your mentality. And then number two is I learned that I can pretty much do anything. When I joined the Navy, I had no idea if I'd be able to do it, if I'd be good at it. I'd Before that, I'd quit almost every single sport I ever tried, and really never done anything exceptional in my life, and I didn't know what I was capable of. And so going through boot camp, going through basic training, uh, and then dive school, um, really just taught me that I can do anything, and that you just put your mind to something, and you kind of surprise yourself with what you can actually do. And number three lesson that I learned was you get out what you put in the military, and pretty much in anything in life. Another bad attitude I kind of had throughout a couple of my commands, and something I kind of wish I would have changed earlier on, was that like, instead of just always looking at what what am I getting out of this, and what's the point? Why should I work harder? I'm not going to get paid more. Why should I have to do more work than this guy or whatever? It was just a really bad attitude to have, and really, in the military, you do get out what you put in. If you try harder than everyone else, and you put all of yourself into it, then you're going to be rewarded. And it might not be right away, but you're going to have that reputation that you care and that you work hard, and you're not just in it for yourself. And that's going to be um, a just a big asset in the Navy, because, or in any branch, because a lot of people kind of have are just negative, and they're out for themselves. And the guys that realize that you get out what you put in just go a lot further. And number four is that I learned that effort is paramount. I mean, there's so many things where it's just like, if you try hard to make something happen, to accomplish a goal, like, that's what matters the most. It doesn't matter where you came from, how strong you are, smart you are, how good you look, how much money your parents have. It's the people that put in the most effort that come out on top. And like, getting through Navy dive school, I never played it, really any sports. Um, I wasn't an athlete. I felt like I really was one of the weaker people physically when I got there. And I just didn't know if I had what it takes. But I applied myself, and I believed in myself, and I just tried as hard as I could, and was able to accomplish that. And so it was just a big lesson that I learned, was just trying hard makes up for any disadvantage that you might have. And number five lesson I learned is it's better to try and fail than not try at all. If you doubt yourself, if you second guess yourself, you don't know if you should do something because you're not gonna make it, or you're not gonna be good enough, then you know, you're not going to go anywhere. It was that kind of just do or die mentality that that taught me that, you know, you can go for something that you don't know if you're capable of. It's okay if you fail. You know, it's okay to put yourself in a situation where you don't have complete control over something. But you know, if you do like if you shoot for like the best that you could be, and you come short, then you're probably at the same spot as if you wouldn't have even tried in the first place. And really, most of the time, you shoot for something, you'll probably make it. So there's almost nothing. I think there's almost nothing to lose when you just go for something and you're not afraid to fail. And number 6 lesson that I learned was to stand up for myself. Like, you got to stand up for yourself, whether you're in high school or in the military or at work or whatever. There's always gonna be bullies, and they're gonna smell the weakness on you. If you're afraid to stand up for yourself, you're afraid to push back when they push you around. That's you're gonna get pushed around. And I didn't really grow up in a family who was like verbally abusive or any of that kind of thing, so I didn't know how to deal with people who were. So that took me a few years just to learn how to push back and not be bullied. And that's, you know, that's just a good thing to know your whole life. And then, so number 7 is don't just think about yourself. The last one is stand up for yourself, but number 7 is don't just think about yourself. You got to be a team player. If you're known as the guy who's only looking out for himself and you don't care about anyone else, and you'll fuck over the whole team just to help yourself out a little bit, you're really just gonna fuck yourself over the most in the end, because your reputation is key. And if you're the guy that doesn't care about anybody else, then it's just gonna really affect you negatively in the long run. So just be a team player. Don't bitch about, like, if you had to work a little bit harder that day or go home later or anything like that. You know, don't be afraid to just take one for the team, and know that that's going to earn you some respect in the long run. So number 8 is be confident. That means like, you know, just confidence, fearlessness, kind of back to, you know, that you can do anything. Like, learning that you can do anything gives you confidence, and having confidence, it impresses people. People are inspired by other people's confidence, and they'll trust you, and they'll want to be around you. And it's just like, sometimes it's the fake it until you make it attitude and mentality. And, you know, you got to do that sometimes. But just showing up, acting like you're supposed to be there, acting like you know what you're doing, even when sometimes you're scared and you don't know what you're doing. People are just going to respect that about you. And that's something that is going to be an asset your whole life. If you just learn how to be confident. It doesn't matter if you're at the bar, if you're in an interview, or just like walking down the street, and you know, people aren't gonna fuck with you if you just stand tall, act like you got some confidence, and you'll just be a better all around person, I think. And that kind of brings me to number 9, which is kind of the opposite of the first one, but not exactly. It's to be humble. So you got to be confident, but also be humble. You don't want to be the guy at the bar who's just talking about how cool he is and all the cool stories, all the war stories, or whatever. You just don't want to be that guy, because there's always going to be someone cooler. There's always going to be someone bigger and badder than you. And really, if you're the guy that's trying to make everyone think that you're the cool guy, it's just not cool, and people don't think you're cool. People, I think, respect you a lot more when you're humble, when you've done a lot of really cool shit, and then you like don't talk about it all the time. You don't tell everyone how cool you are, and like people are gonna know that, and they're gonna respect that. So yeah, be confident and be humble, but also be humble about it. And then number 10, this is like one of the most important things that I learned, and that everyone needs to learn, in life is to be smart with your money. I saw so many guys just buy cars they couldn't afford, buy houses they couldn't afford, spend money left and right. Like every chance they get, they're just blowing through money, and you just end up with a pile of stuff in your garage and nothing in your bank account. And just a lot of people, aren't smart with their money, in the military and all walks of life. And if you just learn how to be conservative, only buy what you need, just everything. If you learn how to do things in moderation, you're going to be financially stable, and just, I think, a lot happier in life. So figure that shit out early on. Read a book about personal finance or something, and you're going to be a lot better off as you go about your life. So that's the 10 things that I learned in the Navy, life lessons that I'm going to be taking with me, and hopefully you got something out of it.